Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning in once again to Queen Ahmadiyyah TV presents More Than Meets the Third Eye. Okay. So glad to see you all here. I am Right Black for the Queen's Teachings and Truth. Thank you, Vince. I am. Okay, so listen, people, we're going to be talking about different things. I told you I'm going to be going live on this channel back to back. I have like 3 videos I want to get out. First, we're going to be starting with the chakras. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into it. I'm going to be sharing my screen with you because I have prepared a PowerPoint presentation. I figured that would help us get through it a bit quicker, right? Hold on, people. I'm sorry. You know what? I got confused. Hold on. We're not talking about chakras yet. Chakras is next. Okay? Talking about chakras next. My mistake. Hold on. We're going to be talking about the healing power of crystals. Now, with that all being said, let me change the time on this next video. Okay. Just a moment, people. Bear with me. Let me change the time on this. Okay. Okay, so let's get ready to get into it. And if you all see any smoke, that's my sage burning, all right? So let me get my receipts. Get my receipts. Just a moment. Everyone, please go ahead and get the likes up if you could be so kind. Okay, here we go, people. I'm on the wrong email. Here we go. Okay. All right. Now, can crystals cure you? Now, I'm not saying they can because I'm not a medical doctor and I'm not by any means giving you medical advice. But this is a belief that some people have. Belief in the power of healing stones is a practice as old as time. Okay? And our African and Egyptian ancestors, well, Egyptians are African, but you understand what I'm saying. Our ancestors used the crystals for different things. And in fact, there's a house, I forget where this house is located, but there's a house where that was on a plantation, and after slavery ended and other people purchased the house, they found these crystals in the basement, right? And they found out that the slaves had actually been working with them. Okay? So, and the stone is called galena. All right, galena. I actually have 2 of them. And you have to be careful with that stone because it has lead in it, okay? It has small traces of lead. So you want to wash your hands after working with it, anything like that. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into it, people. Now, from the way ancient authors describe crystals, it's clear that much of what people thought the material could accomplish was based on how the stones looked. The reflective surfaces shimmer like water. The visual ambiguity is liquid or is it solid? They seem transformative. Now, some people describe crystals clustered around a religious relic, which would seem to glow in a haze of lights, reflections, and take on a halo, benefiting the object's spiritual value. This is what some people have said they view the crystals as. Now, today, many people claim to be authorities on crystals, and many people use crystals for different things. I'm going to tell you about some of the crystals that I use. Now, I have numerous crystals because I've been collecting them for years, okay? Over a decade, I've been collecting crystals. And I first started collecting them when I was all into the church, because I read in the Bible that God told the high priest to put on the breastplates, right? When they say put on the whole armor of God, that's the breastplates. And the breastplates contain the 12 stones, which represent the 12 tribes of Israel. So me and a friend were talking about stones, and he was telling me about, how you work with them and things like that, and how they absorb energy and all those things. And so I decided that I wanted to start buying all the stones that are in the breastplates, the ones that represented the 12 tribes of Israel. Okay. Now, when I went to purchase these stones, the first stone that I actually bought was an amethyst. Now, the reason I want an amethyst is because that's my birthstone. I'm born in February. Okay. February 27th is my birthday. So amethyst is my birthstone, and also purple is one of my favorite colors. So what's funny thing is, when I walked into the store, the man who was behind the counter, as soon as I walked up, he said, "You're here to buy stones." And I said, "Yes." And I was wondering, how did he know that? Because they sold other things besides stones. Okay. It was a metaphysical store. They sold like sage, incense, books, about different things, spiritual things and whatnot. They sold Tibetan bongs. They sold singing bowls. They sold all kinds of things. So I wondered, how did he even know that I came there specifically to get stones, right? And so then, not only did he tell me that I was there to buy stones, he told me what type of stone I should get. He said, "You need to get an amethyst." And I said, "Why?" Now my mind is wondering. I'm curious, right? Because I was already going to get an amethyst because, as I said, that's my birthstone. But I was wondering what made him say that. And he told me, he said, "You need to get an amethyst because the amethyst is the stone of the psychic. And you are psychic. You have the third eye." And I said, "What's the third eye?" Because I didn't know what that was at the time. This was probably like 20 years ago. And so I said, "What is the third eye?" And he went to telling me, about, how some people are very perceptive, intuitive. They have psychic visions and dreams and things like that. And I was like, "Yeah, I've had that since I was a kid." And he said, "Yeah, I can see that," because he could read my aura. Okay, so he was gifted. He was clairvoyant, and he had all these spiritual gifts. He was able to see my aura. So anyway, with that all being said, I told him that it was funny because I actually was buying the amethyst because that was my birthstone. So that was the first thing that I did as far as purchasing my first stone. And then I went on. I got so caught up with using the amethyst and learning about it and learning about stone magic and, just the powers of stones and all of those things. And so after that, I started buying stones all the time. Okay, I have tiger eye stones. I have amethyst. I have halites, black obsidian. I have a zebra amethyst, which is like it's two-toned. It's like it looks white and purple. Somebody gave me that years ago. And then I have one of my favorites is the bloodstone. It's a dark green stone with like a little speck of red. And it actually is said to, people, well, they say that the soldiers during the Civil War, they used that to stop the bleeding of their wounds. And, the bloodstone, I actually had used it before on my younger son when he was young. He was like 2 or 3 because he was having chronic nosebleeds. And I pressed it against his nose and held it and said a prayer. And then he never had nosebleeds after that. Okay. Me too. Purple represents royalty. Okay. Absolutely. So with that all being said, I have blue agates. I have jasper. I have so many stones. Trust me. I have onyx, right? I have a lot of them. Okay. Have a lot. And those of you that follow me on Instagram, you may have seen the video that I posted so far back, probably like a year ago now. I think it was at least 9 months back when I did a full moon ritual, and I use my stones when I do that. And I showed like a video of my stones, many of my stones. So power of the connected Queen Mother. Absolutely. Okay. Aquamarine is my birthstone. Okay. All right. So with that all being said, and as you can see here, I have on an amethyst. This is an amethyst ring. You can see that. Hold on. I'm trying to get in focus. There you go. There you go. So that's like a wire wrapped amethyst. I made that myself because I wrap stones and make different stuff out of them. But anyway, I'm December. Which one do I need? Your birthstone, beloved. I'm sure you should know what your birthstone is, right? These stones sound a lot like the infinity stones. Yes, blue. Okay, so anyway, with that all being said, stones are good for, different things. Now, some people use them when they meditate, which I do. When I meditate, I put a stone under my head wrap right on my third eye. Okay, I put it on my third eye and I wrap the head wrap around it so that it sits there. I see visions when I do this, and I usually like to do this with the amethyst just because that is my birthstone. But I actually see visions. Thank you, Melanated Brown. I actually see visions coming into my mind's eye when I do that, right? Also, I have gone to a holistic doctor who did acupuncture on me to unblock different chakras, because sometimes your chakras get blocked and that causes imbalance, right? So I have gone to a holistic doctor who unblocked my chakras, and I meditated, while she was doing this. She was playing like meditative music and everything. And so I just relaxed, and I also used, had the stones while she was doing that. Okay. So amethysts are great with making spiritual connections. Absolutely. They hold a certain frequency and vibration. Yes. I'm Garnet, says Belinda. Okay, beloved. I carry mine with me as I travel, says Creator Rashida. Absolutely. And that's the thing. I carry my stones everywhere I go. I have them somewhere on my person. Not all of them, mind you. Not all of them. But I'll carry some of them, at least one or two, everywhere that I go. I have a little velvet pouch that I keep some of them in. And then sometimes I wear them around my neck in a little pouch that I wear around my neck. And I also like to wear bracelets and jewelry made of stones. So I always have them on, right? 9 times out of 10. Okay. So with that all being said, let's see what else they have to say about this. Now they say, why people believe in crystals. Now today, those who might be more inclined to believe in the healing power of crystals might also be more likely to subscribe to other fringe therapies. And some of his own research presented to the European Congress of Psychology, French and his colleagues handed crystals, some of which were collected from the earth and some of which were fake. Now to study participants to see who felt tingling or whose mood improved or other shifts that the stones were supposed to convey, they gave them real stones and fake stones. Now they wanted to see how this was working, and this was a guy who was doing he was a metaphysicist. I'm trying to see what his name was. His last name was French. Hold on, people. I can't remember his first name. Anyway, so he was conducting these tests, right? So those holding the artificial crystals, when he was conducting these experiments, the people holding the artificial crystals were just as likely to report new sensations as those holding the real ones. And those who felt those changes were also more likely to believe in other supernatural theories. This is what French and his team found. Now, for someone to take a one-off experience with crystals and turn it into their preferred form of therapy, or a few things have to happen first. It's possible, someone might start believing in the power of these stones because of a false correlation. In other words, because they may have had the crystal with them while something positive happened. Someone might start to think of them, think the gem created those circumstances. But people who are spiritually in tune and actually know how to work with stones and are, who collect stones, they usually know how to use them. And so they know whether or not it's just a coincidence that something happened, or they know absolutely if it's something that occurred because of the stone. Okay. And some people, don't believe in this. Some people think it's witchcraft. Some people say all kinds of crazy stuff. I had a friend one time who was, real religious. She grew up in a sanctified church. And so when I told her that I was working with stones, she was like, oh, that's witchcraft. You shouldn't be doing that. Let me tell you something. First of all, it's not witchcraft. In order for you to be doing witchcraft, you'd have to be doing something like Wicca or doing something nefarious, right? Here's the thing. This is what I asked her. I said, so if someone uses the stones, people who believe that they can heal themselves with stones, that's witchcraft to you? And she said, yes. I said, okay, well then answer this. If people are using stones and crystals to try to heal themselves, and they believe in that, and you call it witchcraft. What is where does the witchcraft come into play? Because stones and crystals come from the earth. They're not man-made. They're made by God, right? So if God made them and put them here, why would there be anything nefarious about them? Now, true, people could use them to do witchcraft because, you can take anything good that's meant for good and use it for bad. Just like fire. You can use fire to cook your food, to warm your house, whatever. But people can also use fire to commit arson and for heinous reasons. So anything that's good, you can use for bad. So at the end of the day, just because you're using stones and crystals doesn't mean you're using them for something bad. It depends on the intent of the person. And that's what I was telling her. And I also brought it to her attention. I said, you're a nurse. You're a nurse. So you give people medications every day, right? She says, yes. And I said, and where do these medications come from? When they leave the hospital and then the doctor gives them a prescription, where do they go get the prescription filled? A pharmacy, right? She says, yes. And I said, the root word of pharmacy, pharmaca, is sorcery. That's what it means. So are the stones witchcraft, or is modern medicine witchcraft? Because the root word of pharmacy, which is pharmaca, pharma, actually means witchcraft, sorcery. Okay? I'm just saying. Pharma, yes, means witchcraft. I'd rather do good things than evil. I don't want to live in hell, die, and go to hell again. Absolutely, Blackfoot. And I don't blame you. So I'm just saying that, there are different things people do with stones and crystals. People who are spiritual and into metaphysics and things of that nature. People who have alternative methods of thinking. People whose third eye is open. Those people will be more privy to be using stones and crystals. Okay? And understanding them. Now, like I said, some people don't believe in that. But here's the thing that I think is funny. When people say they don't believe, say it again, Queen, many use good for evil. That dragon heart helps my neck. Absolutely. Absolutely. October Opal says biggest drug dealers are pharmacists. I agree. Okay. Creator Rashida says all the way truth, Queen. Thank you, beloved. Now, here's the thing. When people say stones and crystals are witchcraft, you know what I also ask them? And you should ask them this as well if they tell you that. If stones and crystals are used for witchcraft and they're occult, used for occult practices, and we shouldn't deal with them, why do people wear diamonds? Because diamonds, yeah, that's a crystal. Okay? And these people who will say these things, they'll have diamond earrings or diamond necklace, diamond rings or whatever. But they'll have some type of stone. They'll have something that's their birthstone, right? Or they'll have like a necklace that has their birthstone on it. So I asked them, is your birthstone witchcraft? Because you wear a ring with your birthstone in it. Does that mean you're practicing witchcraft? And they'll say, well, no, that's different. No, that's not different. Because again, these are stones. Everyone has a stone of their birth, which is a birthstone. The only time it is witchcraft is if you're using it when you're practicing witchcraft. The stones and crystals are not meant for nefarious things. It's only the people who use them for such things. So, but you can't tell some people anything. You know what I'm saying? You can't tell some people something. So let me tell you all about a few of the stones. Okay, I really should have gotten my stones out. But like I said, I was stuck in traffic. So I was clearly rushing. But I did want to show you all some of my stones. And I will on another live. Okay, I will on another live. Stones, crystals in the Bible. Yes, absolutely. Okay, so I'm just going to tell you about a few of them. And then I'm going to move on to the next video. Okay. Okay, so let's talk about amethyst since that's my birthstone. Amethyst is a natural tranquilizer. It relieves stress and strain, soothes irritability, balances mood swings, dispels anger, rage, fear, and anxiety, alleviates sadness and grief, and dissolves negative energy. Amethyst activates your spiritual awareness. It opens intuition and enhances your psychic abilities. It absolutely does. I can vouch for that. Let me tell you something. Each night, I sleep with an amethyst under my pillow. Okay? Sleep with an amethyst under my pillow. Sometimes I have different stones under there also, but always the amethyst. And it always helps me to have prophetic dreams. All right? also, when I have the amethyst under my pillow, I don't have to wake up to my alarm. Like the amethyst literally wakes me up. It won't let me oversleep. Now that's just crazy to me, but that's what happens. I don't oversleep. I don't care how late I stay up. It always wakes me up on time. I have several of my stones on my altar. I have an altar also. Especially now, I try to carry obsidian for physical and spiritual protection, and shungite for protection from EMF, radiation daily. What's good to dispel radiation is Oregon energy. Okay, Oregon energy. I have an Oregon energy necklace that I bought at this fair that I went to years ago. And yeah, so they have that also helps to prevent you from absorbing radiation. And those little pyramids, the Oregon pyramids, those, and I want one. I'm going to buy one of those probably sometime this week, because I have been wanting one so bad, with the amethyst chips in it. Okay. Yes, I had one, but I think somebody took it. So, but yes, I'm going to get one of those sometime this week. So anyway, with that all being said, I'm going to show you all a picture of a piece of amethyst. This is like raw amethyst. This is the kind I have. And I have a big piece of it too. Hold on, people. Let me let you all see this. See this large piece right here? Now, the darker the amethyst, the more expensive it is. And also the more powerful. That's why I like dark pieces of amethyst. And I have a piece just like this. Maybe a little smaller, but I also have a larger piece. The larger piece isn't as dark. And then here's another one. I have one just like this. I wrapped it as a pendant for a necklace. So anyway, there's all different types of stone. There's another one I want to show you. And you know, also people use these in Reiki. People use different crystals and stones when they are performing Reiki on people. Hold on. Black obsidian. That's what I'm going to show you. It looks a lot like onyx to me. This is it right here. See how smooth it is? Now, Houston, I follow a guy named Issachar on here, and his wife makes them on their website. I forgot the name of it, but I'll look it up. So now let's talk about black obsidian. Black obsidian is a beautiful natural stone formed by volcanic lava. Okay, so when a volcano erupts, the lava that spills out, that's how it's formed. It's smooth and reflective and doesn't have a crystalline structure. It is connected to the root chakra, and it's often used to help with grounding, protection, and healing. And that's very interesting that it's connected to the root chakra, because we're going to be talking about the chakras next, okay, on the next live after this one. So I just wanted to tell you all a little bit about some of these stones and how people believe, you know, that they can use them for healing. And there's even been people that have made elixirs out of them and things like that. But when people have done that, they have to be careful, because some of them are toxic. Like I told you, the galena stone that I actually have 2 of them. That stone actually has lead in it, traces of lead. Okay. Does the real or fakeness of the crystal influence effectiveness, or is it the same? Fake stones don't do anything. Those people who were saying that the fake stones, they were feeling sensations, that was all in their mind, clearly. Fake stones do not do anything. It has to be real ones. Where is the best place to buy stones? At metaphysical stores, places where they have spiritual things, you know, for you to purchase, like sage, where they sell sage and incense, and, you know, books about the chakras and all those things. They usually have them in there. I mean, I don't know what state you're in, so I couldn't really tell you the best place to go wherever you live, but somewhere where they sell metaphysical things. And so anyway, I'm going to conclude this broadcast because the next video is supposed to start at 4:40 and we're already overdue. So I'm going to go ahead and conclude this. I want to thank you all for tuning in, and I hope you enjoyed talking about the stones. And next time, like I said, on another live, I'll actually show you my stones and tell you what I do when I work with them. Okay, so hope to see you all right back in the chat. The next video coming up is going to be about the chakras. It's going to be amazing, and I have a PowerPoint. Okay, so with that all being said, until next time, peace.